So Kim is going to speak today about her experience, and what I want you to get from this, hopefully, is to see and understand the value of a financial coach. That almost no matter who you are, and almost no matter how well you're doing or not well you're doing, a financial coach, if they're a good one, is going to be able to help you improve in all different areas of your life where you maybe just didn't think about certain things in certain ways. And, as the saying goes, we can't see ourselves through the eyes of others. And also that a coach can provide that push, that accountability that, you don't necessarily have for yourself. If you work out at home, you might have an easier time saying, I'll skip it today, versus if you got a gym buddy, you don't go to the gym that day, you're letting him down or her down. So accountability is a big part of that too. So I'm not going to go on too much about this. I'm just going to go ahead and let Kim jump into things. Kim, if you want to put your slides up, I'll let you have the microphone.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kim. I'm not going to talk as long as Emil. I'm going to mostly talk about the non-quantitative benefits that I got out of coaching with Dan. And this is me. First about me is I'm a mom of three. I have two boys and a girl. And I am also a dog mom. I'm a native Colombian, as in Columbia, Maryland. My parents moved here in 1968. And I've been at APL since 1992, when this older guy was only, he's 29. I got to work when he was only 7 months old. And in May of 2021, I became an empty nester. My youngest guy, Andrew, he graduated from the University of Maryland. So it was a really good time to start working with Dan because, I had a change of life, as in I was no longer financially responsible for another human being. And think about financial mentoring. You might be a little bit stressed, but as you can see, it really wasn't that bad. We both had a pretty good time, and I was really appreciative. And the first thing that we had, he asked me what kind of things bring me joy. And I said that spending time with my children, and I love to be outside, and I'm a big fan of yoga. And then my goals out of mentoring was to create a well-defined path for retirement. I'm 57, I'll be 58 in November, and I've been at the lab for over, I came in 92, but I was a contractor for 6 years. So I've been an employee for about 23 years. And I wanted to make sure that my 403B was properly balanced. And I also wanted an easy to follow monthly budget. I wasn't a big budgeter. I didn't really have accountability of what I was spending. I just wanted to save, and then I would spend whatever I had left. So where was I when we first started? I really lacked confidence in my own financial situation. I had been married for 23 years, and I wasn't the person in the home that did the budgeting or really the investment. I just was very blessed to be working at APL with our wonderful 403B plan and them matching so much of it. Housing was also kind of an issue for me. I had been living in the marital home, which was pretty hard to afford on one income. So when my youngest child went to college, I sold it and I moved into an apartment because I was, I had a good amount of fear financially about what happened if, I had a big giant expense with the house while he was in college, and it was just too risky for me. And so then I moved into an apartment, which ended up being expensive because I had the mindset of the middle class and the middle age, and I thought I needed a whole lot of luxury. I've enjoyed it, but I've decided that it's too much luxury that I don't want to pay for. I wanted to know if I was really on track for retirement. We talked about that. I had taken out a 403B loan, and Dan was so wonderful. He did an analysis of my 403B loan. I was contributing more than the 4%. And so what we ended up doing was I took the extra amount over the 4%. And I was also contributing to a Roth, and we took all of that money and I doubled down and I paid off that loan. So now I don't have to see that. That caused me, emotional turmoil watching that loan come out of my paycheck every month. So it wasn't mostly about the money, it was the emotions, because when you're watching something that you don't want to happen, that caused me stress. So I'm glad that Dan said, you don't need to wait the 5 years to pay this off. We can just double down and pay it off quicker. And that gave me a lot of comfort. And a big deal, what we talked about was, where was my money going each month? And then were my financial accounts appropriate? I had the E-Trade Roth, and Dan talked to me about having, if your money is in your retirement account, that offered you protections, like in case someone tried to sue you, because a retirement account, is safer. And then we talked a lot about mutual funds versus individual stocks. I like to buy the individual stocks. That was fun to talk about with, my friends that were stock buyers and my sons that love to buy stocks. But I realized that if I was just following a good S&P mutual fund, I was getting a higher return than, having some of the highs and some of the lows combined. So what I got out a lot with working with Dan was, mindsets and habits, accountability of having to meet with somebody every other week, because he's going to see what I'm doing. I'm able to report my good habits and what I've done. Investment awareness, the mutual funds versus the stocks. He talked about ways to donate money and gifting. I was able to share that ways to donate with my own parents also. The giant thing that I learned with Dan was the monthly tracking of my expenditures. And when I realized I really was, when I did the comparison of what I was spending, that I was spending way too much on my housing, and the housing was rent. It wasn't even my mortgage. And then we did month-to-month comparisons of, how, each category that I was spending. And then once he would give me, certain tasks to do, I could see how it actually was working from month to month. I eliminated things that I wasn't using a lot. So I had different subscriptions to like makeup and the food delivery services and all that kind of stuff. And I wasn't actually using it. So I was able to cut down on some of that. I had a lot of food waste also. And oh my gosh. So the awareness of spending thing was funny, because Dan had me, I took my receipts from 1 month and I just wrote down everything I spent, like in groceries, like price per pound of vegetables. And then he helped me, reallocate. He's a big fan of Walmart. And I was still able to get, my organic Honeycrisp apples for like half the price when I bought it at Walmart. We had, like my Spindrift waters, I still was able to buy the luxury items that I wanted. But if I was using, the Walmart prices, then I was able to get a deal. I was able to, Walmart has a subscription service just like Amazon Prime. And I got my son, my youngest son, who now works at Amazon Logistics in Charleston. And now he has the groceries coming to his house directly from Amazon. So he's learned and he's saving money. And so from working with Dan, I am stepping toward my goals. I am definitely confident that my retirement is on track. Dan looked at my net worth. We compared it. He did analysis and compared it against other people my same age, my peers, and way above, thankfully, to APL retirement plan. I have no debt, no loans, nothing, because I doubled down and paid off that last loan. I have a side gig. During COVID, I became a registered yoga teacher with 200 hours. And now I'm giving my weekly yoga classes, and I give them over Zoom. And it's really exciting when someone will Cash App me or Venmo me money for taking my class, and that's exciting. I talked to Dan about having yoga insurance and comparing the different policies that they have. And now I have some write-offs because I have my home-based business. Dan gave me the advice, and I shared it with my elderly parents. I've shared advice with my children. I thought when my son moved to Charleston that I should go to, the stores when I got him down there and outfit his apartment. And Dan was like, please don't buy your son, his whole apartment and his linens and towels. Dan's like, let him figure that out. That will help him have competence. And I didn't, and Andrew did just fine, picking out and paying for everything that he needed. And Dan doesn't know, but I've gone out with a real estate agent, and now I'm looking for my own property here because now that I don't, have that financial responsibility of my son, I feel a little bit safer, and I am confident that it's time for me to get back out into the market and not pay rent and buy my own place. And let's see, and there I am. I have gone camping just this month. I've been able to travel and spend time with my sons, and I'm doing my yoga in business and for fun. So I'm really appreciative of the time that Dan spent with me. I'm appreciative for, having more financial confidence and that I'm able to budget and compare and invest on my own. So just having somebody kind of like look over your shoulder and say, hey, you're doing a good job, and tweak what you've got going on. It was definitely a blessing. It wasn't excruciating. I thought it would be kind of hard having to go through all of those details of everything that I spent, but it really, the awareness of what I was spending, I needed to know, and that helped me, get a little bit more stable. So that's all I've got for you guys. Thank you for listening.